Stubborn trading. Let's have a chat about this one today. I'm sorry I've been away, no videos this past week because I've been away. Um, this subject is all about stubborn trading, and sometimes you need to be a stubborn trader. So there's a fine balance between being a stubborn trader and then becoming maybe overly arrogant towards the market and your decision making. But if you've got a setup that you trade and it fails, or you get stopped out, but it resets as a setup, you must take it again. You've got to have that stubbornness to take it again. Let me give you some examples. This was an example of dollar yen back in 2016. Down here, I think it was. There was, I think I had 5 attempts down here at a long, and I had a particular pattern that I was trading, and it was the sixth trade that then took off and had a fantastic run. If I'd have just had that sort of typical trader mindset of after 2 attempts think, oh, I don't want to do this anymore because I'm getting stopped out, I'd have missed out on what was a really good trade, which paid for those 5 losing trades and profit on top. And I would have just missed out. So there needs to be an element of stubbornness as a trader. If you've got a pattern, doesn't matter whether you get stopped out on your pattern. And a lot of the time, people think, "Oh, I must be. Maybe my stop was in the wrong place." I think sometimes you just have to accept that the market gets noisy at times. You don't have to think, oh, I've got to change my stop particularly. There must be something wrong with it. It's too tight or whatever. Sometimes it's just the market and there's nothing wrong with your stop overall. So let's now move across to another example, and that was the euro back. I've got these on weekly charts here. Back in 2018 into 2019. I'm trying to get my pen to work, but it doesn't want to work today. And down here, it got very choppy through into 2019, and obviously then just into COVID. But I had higher time frame patterns that I was trading at that time, and I was getting stopped out again. This is now into 2019, and I went through a drawdown period with those stop outs because the patterns were still really relevant and valid, so I have to trade my plan. And in the end, so I went through a drawdown period through the back end of 2018 into the spring of 2019. By the end of 2019, actually 2019 wasn't a bad year at all, and then 2020 was a monster year, and 21 and 22 as well. So you have to put up with the periods where your pattern is either underperforming in a market, whether you're an intraday trader and the market's just maybe chopping around for a month or so, and that's affecting your intraday patterns. It doesn't matter what time frame you're trading off of. If you've got your pattern and your plan and your trading setup, you got to follow it, and that's all I'm doing when I'm doing my trading. But the problem is, a lot of people will ditch their pattern, their trade plan, once they've had a few losses. When really, is there anything wrong? If it's resetting, you got to be a little bit stubborn, and it's that stubbornness as a trader that ultimately usually pays off. But it is a fine line. There's good stubbornness, and if your pattern is still valid, yes, retake it. And then there's, oh, I got stopped out, I just want to go back in. That's different. So that's not quite the same. So in my examples, yeah, if nothing's changed, if it resets, you go back in. And that's what today's video topic is all about. So do bear that in mind, because I see traders getting fearful in front of the markets all of the time. So they have a pattern, they have an attempt or two at it, and then they ditch it, and then the third one or the fourth one plays out, and then they think, oh, I missed out there. Yeah, you need that element of stubbornness. There you go. Enjoy your weekends. I'll be enjoying the Ryder Cup. Speak to you next week.